Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ben. Today I'm coming at you with another video, and this time it's going to be about a book by Dougal Dixon called After Man. So After Man is a book on speculative evolution by Dougal Dixon, and this book, the premise is that, okay, what if humanity just like spontaneously disappears, and then 50 million years from now, right, how do the animals look? How does evolution change? And I know that, okay, humanity really wouldn't just spontaneously disappear, but there are many different ways that you could approach the idea of humanity disappearing and different causes, right? And so, like, you could approach it from nuclear apocalypse, disease, to climate change, and many other things. And so I think he just picked this way, which is basically humanity just up and disappears, and then the animals evolve around that, right, over the next 50 million years. That it just simplified things, and I appreciate the concept, and I think he did a really good job with this book, and I'm going to talk about some of the different animals that he created. And as far as I know, this book is respected as a good scientific look on what could happen. Of course, you know, he's probably not going to be 100% correct, but it's, and particularly as, you know, if humanity keeps going on, that would change things. But I think he did a great job of approaching it, and the animals feel very realistic. In some ways, they feel very similar to animals that we have now. And that's probably how it should be if you're really taking a more scientific and realistic approach on what could happen versus completely science fiction based, like, oh, there's this thing, right? And then suddenly this animal that looks like nothing like what we have appears, right? And those are fun, but I like this. It's not something that a lot of people do because it's a lot easier to just go boom, right? And that's how the world works now, versus playing in the bounds of reality. And I feel like that is what Dougal Dixon tried to do here, and I found it very interesting. And so I'm going to dive into some of these animals. I'm going to pick out some of my favorites. But first, I'm going to lay some of the stuff out, and I'll probably have better shots than what I'm just showing you here. But this might be good. And so this is what Earth would kind of look like. And I'm trying to get it to where the light doesn't. And so that's where maybe I'll get a better shot later on. And so then, here's the first one. It's called a rabuck. And so basically it evolved from rabbits. And there are multiple different kinds of rabucks. There's a mountain rabuck, a desert rabuck, a common rabuck. I wouldn't say that that's one of my favorites, but it's a decent one, definitely. So you have the phalanx, and that evolved from a rat. Some of this, there's a lot of information that goes into this, so I may have some text in the video explaining if I accidentally messed something up. But I believe the phalanx evolved from a rat, and they don't, in the book, I don't think they have a good solo shot that's attacking, I believe, a rabuck. But here's another cool one. I think it's just a tusked mole. It has a different scientific name, but it's just a tusked mole, is what it says. So I have two other ones, and these are kind of cool too, that I have. It was on the same page, but it's an oak leaf toad and a testodon. I find those to be interesting. So oak leaf toad, it's got a kind of pattern on its back that makes it look like a leaf, so it can hide. And then you have a testodon, which is a descendant of the primitive hedgehog. And this is coming directly from the book by Dougal Dixon. So the spines of its ancestors have been replaced by a series of hinged, armored plates which can be drawn together in an impregnable spear when the animal is threatened. So if you see the picture on the screen right now, you will see that it will be able to, and also based on the sketches, it will be able to roll into a ball. So we're going to leave that one. And then you have a reed stilt, which I will show a picture of a reed stilt. And the hornhead, let's look. Ancestral hornhead, they're derived from gigantelopes of the African subcontinent. So you got spine-tailed squirrel, which has very skunk-like coloring. And then you have a pamphret, which a pamphret is unique to the coniferous forest, as it says in this book. It's a large weasel-like creature, and one of the few true carnivores still in existence. Bartolot kind of looks like a polar bear, which I find interesting. And then you have a woolly gigantelope. So next is a meeching, booty bird, and a gandamot. And so I'm just going to show all three. The meeching is a tunneler, similar to the ancient lemming from which it may be descended. And then you have the booty bird. The booty bird is also an enemy of the meeching, a notable avian predator of the meeching, the gandamot. Next up, you got a Distarterops, a flightless auk. So you have a vortex, which looks kind of like a killer whale, but with a different mouth shape. And then you have a porpin. Now we're going to the mountains. So you have Growith, which kind of looks like a mountain goat. And you have a Shurak. Now you have a parachute, which I'm going to show a picture of because it's kind of cool. Its tail can be used like a parachute. Sand dwellers. So this is one of my more favorite ones, even though it's a very interesting looking. So desert shark. So it kind of looks like a wormish, kind of sand-like, sandwormish, but not quite like the dune sandworms, like an actual worm, but it's called a desert shark. And for the most part, it lays out in the sun all day. Then you have a sand flapjack. Flapjack's burrows is capped with stones and twigs. Larger desert animals. So you have a desert leaper, which looks very kangaroo-like, except it looks more dehydrated. But it does have, and I remember reading this, so the leaper is descendant from the rodents, possibly one of the jerboas and sand rats, and has grown large. Adult males may reach more than 3 meters from nose to tail. The tail is the most unusual feature. It is here that all of its subcutaneous fat is stored. The fat is not a water store, but store of food that enables the leaper to go for long periods without eating when food is unavailable. And when the fat store is full, the animal's body is well balanced and can leap quickly on its hind legs. And then here's a cool one, a root sucker. I'm just going to show a picture of it. It's kind of armored and kind of looks like a badger. And then you have the fin lizard. Let's keep moving. Grass eaters, flightless guinea foal, the rundahorn, and another gigantelope. Gigantelope is a very fundamental species. So then you got the hiran, which preys on the gigantelope. And then you have raboons. The flunky, a very small marmoset like monkey. That also comes directly, I read that from the book. The anchor whip, an extremely long and thin tree snake. The kifa and the striger. Zorander, termi. These ones are interesting. You got the swimming monkey, and then you have a mud gulper, which kind of looks like a hippo and a manatee combined. And then a swimming anteater. Australian forests. The slobber. Let me show you a picture of that. That one looks interesting. A hiri-hiri. That's cool. Giantula. You got the posset. Islands and island continents. South American forests. The waka and the strick. You got a cleft-back antelope. And then this one's a couple interesting ones. So you have the floor, which kind of looks like it's got flowers around its face. Fleur has glands around its mouth that produce a sweet-smelling secretion that is attractive to insects. That's read from the book. And then you got the night stalker. The night stalker's powerful front legs are developed from the wings of its ancestors, the bat. Its back feet were originally used for grasping and clutching and now come over its shoulders and are effectively forming hands. And so that's a very interesting one. Terratail, and its tail looks like the head of a snake. And then you have a Pacuan whistler, the Pacuus bird snake, and so then that's it. And I probably spent far too long breaking that up in the different species, but I just find that book very interesting. I probably won't include all of the animals in there. I recommend you look into this book. I think you can find it not too expensive on Amazon. I like this book, so please comment what you thought of this video, comment what you thought of the book, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.